What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So I did finally want to make my car collection video here on Forza Horizon 5. Now this is going to be a little over 2 months in the game, and I gotta admit, I think I have more cars than I thought I was going to get. For example, one of them is going to be right here, which is going to be the DS23, and honestly, this is a pretty funkin' looking vehicle. What's kind of funny to me though is I remember driving this car back into Car Desert Rally. I saw it on here. I'm like, oh, yeah, I gotta grab that thing. But kind of insane though, guys, how I am going to be over 800 vehicles now. The one thing I do want to admit here is I'm not going to go and like show every single car because honestly that would probably take way too long. Most likely hours on end. But I figured I would go through my car collection stuff. Currently, guys, I am sitting at 801 now. I'm going to be honest and say that I can get higher than this. I am going to have over 100 million. So I could go buy a lot more cars and sit in the auction house. But probably going to say and most likely admit that's not going to be the best idea. And on top of that, there's also going to be some expensive vehicles I could purchase. I just haven't done it yet. I really don't know why. I just haven't got around to it. But it really is insane to me, though, that I am going to be at over 800 vehicles here in Forza Horizon. I guess you could probably say I've overplayed the game a bit, but I'm still massively enjoying it. And now that I'm going to have this many vehicles, I really can mess around and test them out. And that was probably a big factor in going after some cars like the Ascari or Ascari. Probably didn't say that right, but you guys know what I mean. We're also going to have something like the $22 million Aston Martin here. Didn't end up buying that. I am going to have something like the Lagonda there, which is going to be a pretty insane vehicle. And again, I did end up going through and buying a lot of these cars and stuff like that. That way I have them. Or, I did end up sitting in the auction house for hours on end to get some of them. I am going to be missing some cars like the RS4 Avant. Now, I could go spend 20 million on it. I just haven't got around to it, but could I do it? Yeah. So a lot of people are like, "Yo, Block, you have a lot of cars, but you can definitely get a lot higher." Now, one thing I do admit here is I did end up spending a tad too much time in the auction house. I gotta admit that. We all do know, and looking at my previous videos and stuff, people are like, "Yo, you got 100-something million dollars. You're going to have that car. You have this one." So yeah, I did end up spending way too much time in there and stuff. But one of the biggest reasons why I did want to do that though is I knew going right off the bat into Forza, the game did end up releasing in April. I knew right off the bat this game was going to have cars that no other game has and probably never will. And I can only imagine what Forza Horizon 6 is going to have in it. Cannot wait to see some of the insane cars they probably bring into there. I'm going to guess and say there's going to be newer models like 24, 25s and stuff. We might even see cars that are barely even out and stuff, which I'm going to guess and say that is probably going to happen. But with that though, I was looking at vehicles on Forza and I'm like, yo, I gotta go after some of these. Some cars are going to be like a memory or things I did end up driving in older games. For example, something like the Zesto Elemento. One thing I gotta ask, by the way, guys, let me know in the comments, why are the Extreme E cars so rare? Like, I am curious. Veteran players, let me know. I'm honestly very confused. I do know the number 99 is pretty much all over the auction house, but none of the other cars are going to be in there. Now, I do know it's basically the same car, but different liveries. But why are those so rare, bro? Let me know in the comments. But one thing I was going after, though, is I was looking at some of these cars going, okay, well, we have something okay, this is going to be a good example, though. There is going to be a total of 43 Ferraris in Forza Horizon 5, which is just honestly crazy to me. But I saw a lot of these. I'm like, yo, I have to get these. For example, the 250 GTO, love that thing. I saw the 1967 number 24 Ferrari, had to grab it. I was looking through, I'm like, oh, we got the F50, love that car, love the F40 as well. I don't remember the last time I saw like the 512S or even like the 288 GTO or something, which I do know Motorfest now has the 288 GTO and the F50, but we're also now going to have the F50 GT, which is like the upgraded version of the F50. Crazy how that car is also in the game. We then have the 360 Challenge. We have the FXXK there, or the FXX. The FXXK is actually over here, for that matter. I passed it, it's right there. But we're also going to have something like the J50 and stuff. We have the newer Ferraris like the SF90 there. We're also going to have the Roma. I do feel like you see some of these Ferraris are like, yo, I gotta grab these things, I gotta get them. Even looking at something like Ford, for example, I am missing some of these cars. I just haven't went after them. Some are going to be backstage, and I do know some are going to be super rare, but I'm like, you know what? Let me grab some of these. I love driving the Fords, for example, the SVT. Like, how many of these cars are you guys going to see in other games and legitimately all together, bro? We have the Shelby GT350R. I love that car. Then We're also going to have an F450 Super Duty, bro. Like what? We got the Ranger Raptor. We're going to have the Bronco Raptor and the Raptor R. I'm going to be a big off-roading person. I love these trucks. They're amazing. Being able to see all of them in one game, bro, gets me so dang hyped up. Then you're also going to have Formula Drift, and you guys are probably going to see where I am going with this. So there's just so many different cars to go after. And what's funny, though, is I was talking with my friend about this, and I'm like, dude, you think it's kind of bad I have over 800 vehicles only being 2.5 months into Forza Horizon? He's like, yeah, dude. The thing is, though, I'm genuinely enjoying this game, going after a bunch of vehicles I would never see again, or at least, once again, seeing cars you'd probably never see in other games for that matter, or at least rare vehicles. I think Forza Horizon really does kill it, and I did mention earlier, it really does make me excited to see what Forza Horizon 6 is going to have in it, especially with newer car models. Right now, guys, let me know in the comments below of some of the vehicles you would love to see in Forza Horizon 6. I'm going to guess right now and say people are probably going to want some newer models in there. I really do think we can end up seeing that. Probably some of the new Lamborghinis or new Ferraris and stuff like that. And most likely cars you're like, yo, that's going to be in the game, bro. Most likely is going to be insane. With me being a new Forza Horizon player, though, I am still kind of mind blown, man. I've never played any of the older ones, but I'm definitely planning to do so. I am going to try to find a Xbox Series X eventually that's not $700 or $650. Maybe I can get like a used one somewhere or something like that off Marketplace. I don't know. But I was kind of a bit salty. They did end up raising the price of the Xbox Series X because I really don't know what the point of that was. I don't know if they had to do it. Maybe they chose to do it. Who knows? But kind of frustrating. With that being said, though, I am curious to also know how many cars were in the previous Forza Horizons. Now, I do know the older games from like 2012 are not going to have like a 2018 Sentra Nismo or like a brand new like 370Z in it, because that obviously doesn't make any sense. So yeah, the car list is going to be smaller in those, but I really can't wait to see. What is Forza Horizon 6 going to have, like 1,000 cars in it, bro? I honestly wouldn't doubt it. I do know some people are like, maybe they should get rid of some of the cars, or maybe there shouldn't be as many in the game. And well, to be honest, the thing is, it really does make the game that much more unique, because there's not going to be another game that is going to have a car list like this. Like every time I get on here, I'm like, oh yeah, we literally have a Ram Power Wagon in the game. That's pretty dope. We're also going to have a bunch of Renaults. We got the Rimacs in there. We're also then going to have real trophy trucks. Also, we got Celine vehicles in here, like the S7, like the Black Label truck. There's going to be sweet. We have cars I've never even heard of. For example, the Chupin. I think that's how you say that, Chupin. Never heard of that brand before. I also don't know if Sierra is going to be like what that even is. Then we're also going to see something like the GTA Spano, which was one of my favorite cars back in Rivals. I love that thing. You're also then going to see that car in the Need for Speed movie, which I really honestly wish they'd make another one, man. Kind of confused why they haven't. Don't really know why, but we're also then going to have 14 Subarus. This brand is probably one of the most requested brands I've seen from people asking in every game. For example, on Motorfest and pages, a lot of people are like, can we please get Subaru? When I got on Forza, I'm like, bro, there's 14 Subarus. We got the Brat, we got the Legacy. We're then going to have the WRX STI. We got the old BRZ. We have the new BRZ. We have the new WRX, man. Like, it's just crazy, bro. I don't know of another game that has a BRZ, at least a new one in it. That's probably one of my favorite things about this game. I just love how there's newer cars in it. We're then going to move over to Toyota here, guys. I finally got the Sports 800. That car really did take forever, but like, it's crazy. We got the Yaris. We have a Tundra TRD. We got a Tacoma. We got the GR Supra. We're going to have the Arctic trucks. I love those. We got the 4Runner. Name another game right now that has the 4Runner and the Camry, man. Like, it's just mind-blowing to me. We're then going to have the Ultima. That car is absolutely wild. We're then going to have Universal cars, which is very cool. We have Vauxhall. I think I said that right. Again, another brand I'm not familiar with. We have a bunch of Volkswagens in the game, 23 to be exact, Volvo and stuff. It's just crazy, man. Going through my collection here, I did not realize how many cars I had, and I can definitely tell there is more cars I can go after, but I gotta be real, I don't really want to sit in the auction house like I was, man. Like, I was spending way too much time in there, and I kind of think that's not the best thing to do. I can give advice to players trying to do it. Definitely, guys, it's probably going to sound kind of dumb, but play the game. I know that's going to sound stupid. Do not spend 10 hours in the auction house trying to get vehicles. Have patience and stuff. You will get the cars you want. It's just probably going to take a bit longer. I've been noticing that with some of them. Like, I really don't want to be sitting in the auction house for hours on end trying to get a single car where I'm like, you know what, I'll just come in here once in a while and take a look, and if the car's in there, dope. Kind of messing with RNG more, but I'm having way more fun driving some of my favorite vehicles in the game, doing races, messing around and stuff, and I feel like a lot more people would have more fun doing it that way instead of going after like every single car in the game. To be honest, guys, I'm still a bit surprised I have over 800 vehicles, and I would say people are like, yo, you can easily be way higher than that, man, and that's definitely going to be true, but I'm like, you know what, let me slow down a little bit. I don't have to have every single car right now. But besides all of that, though, do let me know how your car collection is going in Forza Horizon 5. How many cars do you guys have? Is there more cars you want to get? Is there any specific ones you want to go after? Maybe you might not even care about your car collection. I am curious to know your thoughts on this in the comments below. I am going to be real right now and say I haven't drove probably half the vehicles I do have, but I am going to be getting more into that and trying to mess with them, put builds on them, and just drive them. And the biggest reason I see with that, though, is with all the cars in the game, there is going to be different build types you could do, like CBA or even something like S1 and stuff. And some cars are probably going to shine in different classes or for different purposes, which is really going to add on to like the unlimited amount of like messing around with vehicles you can do. Even though at the moment I am currently driving a lot of my favorite cars or vehicles I wish I could have saw in a racing game in at least the recent times of playing them. One example is going to be the Centenario and the Zesto Elemento. I love both of those, and I'm so glad to see both of those cars in Forza. But again, guys, let me know about your car collection in the comments below. I am curious. I do wonder how many players actually have maxed out number. I would say a lot of them. Probably down to the simple fact that this game isn't going to be new and it's going to be over 3 years old.